ready and I'm not all the time.
Okay, we'll go
I'm
ahead.
good.
We have everybody get a chance to see the minutes?
I got you.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got you. Call the meeting to order today for November. Before we get too far in, we got a couple new members that I'll allow Lawrenceburg to introduce their new member.
Yeah, this is Rob Snyder. He's our new utility director. He's going to be taking over here after a couple more meetings. He wants to get his feet wet, and I'm going to become his proxy. So, everybody, Rob, if you want to tell a little bit about your background, or
Sure. Yeah, I'm Rob Schneider. I'm coming from a water wastewater background into the utility position here at the city of Lawrenceburg, or utility director position rather. Last 10 years I've been at Cincinnati MSD, so their jurisdiction's all of Hamilton County. They cover the collection system and the 7 major treatment plants in that area. And I, for the last 10 years, have been managing their remote monitoring division. Prior to that, my experience was in the water and wastewater treatment process. I actually worked for B.L. Anderson, who is, I know, service. I saw in the meeting minutes that, or one of the handouts here that they were referenced. So I had worked with them for 7 years, and I had covered all of Kentucky for them for about a year and a half prior to moving to MSD. So that's my background is in water and wastewater. As I said, coming into this position, I'm getting into the electric side of things here as well. Not that that has any relationship to this meeting, but that's my background.
Well, thank you, Rob. Welcome aboard. We've got another new member that Greendale. Do you want to introduce him, Sean?
No, the mayor.
He just stepped here.
Oh. All right. Introduce Nathaniel Barrows.
Barrows,
sorry, I apologize. He's our new, I'm used to call us city manager, but the director of public works.
How you guys doing? Kind of tell you a little bit from Baker Concrete. That's where I kind of got my start at. Been with the city of Cincinnati for the last 4 years, overseeing road construction projects for them with DOT and managing all that kind of stuff. Came here about 4 weeks ago, so. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
With the introductions done, we will I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes as presented from the November 12th meeting.
Make a motion.
Got a motion for Sean, got a second?
second.
Got a second from Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anywhere at the bottom to sign and date, please. Next up is going to be the presentations, O&M presentation. I'll give that just a second while I get this paper back. All right, the O&M reports for the month of November. Section 1, monthly activity reports. I put under employee morale an interesting Alyssa, the lab analyst, has returned to work, thank God. That's definitely boosted my morale a little bit. Other than that, significant meetings, Nathan, Mitchell, Stark, and myself, we had a progress meeting for Project B. Again, not a whole lot of activities. Clarifiers have been done, but Nathan will touch on that here in a little bit. Operational highlights. Nothing really new in that first little paragraph on the chart there. You see that we're at 46% on flow, 98.1 on BOD removal, 93. These are all percentages, by the way. Sorry, 93.8 on TSS removal. Ammonia, solids ammonia for the summer. This is the last month of our summer limits. We jump up after the November month. We were at 91.7%. With a number of 1.126. You guys remember our limit's 2.8, so we were well below that. And then we were at 77.9% on phosphorus. So plant's been doing pretty well, minus a few hiccups here and there, but overall pretty well. Section 2, budget report. well, I'll refer to Becky when she gets that next. And if there's any questions, we'll field them. Section 3 is your management report, safety and security. I just continue to evaluate any safety issues at the plant. We address them as they pop up. Starting at the beginning of next year, put it out there now, we're going to start holding monthly safety meetings. Like a little 15-minute session with a video and, just kind of keep the guys up to fresh on whatever we're working on at that time. Probably something I should have been doing the whole time, but just kind of got tossed away there as we move forward through these projects we've been doing, so it's time to get back to it. Letter B there, compliance report. I've submitted I put the wrong month on there. I submitted the DMR MRO for October. It was violation free. The ones for November are still being compiled, but they look good so far. Still waiting on the OEPA sludge permit. Any word on that? Not heard anything. They still accept our sludge, so I'm assuming that permit was fine. But I have not seen it. The DMR QA testing that we talked about last month for study 45, I had to run 2 quick responses, one for ammonia that we missed by 0.6 on our testing and one for BOD. That was a new requirement that was thrown at us after our testing was complete, and that was because we do we run lab work that they report from local industries. So I had to run a BOD so that they could submit their DMR QA study. So, and we passed both of those on the first tracker. So those are good, done. We're certified to run every test we've done in the lab again for this year. The MPDS permit renewal has been submitted. It's been out for review, and they just posted it, I think, last week for the 30-day public comment section. I only found one, you want to call it error in it. They had it listed that we had an influent flow meter, and we do not have an influent flow meter, so I will have that language edited. Our influent is a calculated number, it's not an actual flow meter on the system, so I have to get that edited, which they said would be fine, no big deal. Other than that, it looks to be about the same permit, just small wordings that don't really have much effect. They didn't change any of our limits that I noticed, anything like that, so. Not yet. Well, this happened last time too, and they cut our phosphorus number or ammonia number by over 75%, so. I will keep an eye on that. Nathan, I'm gonna send that to you to review if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't send me a notification.
I don't know why it didn't. I mean, you literally helped me submit it, so. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll send it off to you for a quick glance over as well, if you don't mind. Thank you. Next section, letter C, is just a maintenance report. Again, for those that are new, that's just a little area where I kind of keep track of some of the things the maintenance guys do throughout the month. It's like a quick reference for me. I don't have to go read a log book or ask questions. It's all right there. Next up is the maintenance issues to discuss. Pretty much all that's the same. The only thing I added on there from month over month is the odor control scrubbers that we have, the ozone generation units. I don't know if it's the cold weather or what is going on right now, but they're not functioning properly, so I'm going to have the company, as much as I don't want to, because I really do not like this guy. But I'm going to have the company come in, take a look at things, and try to figure out what's going on. We've cleaned all the plates. It still says clog filter and won't turn the unit on. So. And we've changed all the filters. So something goofy's going on, but we'll figure it out. Other than that, it's the same stuff as last month. The automatic transfer switches, we have to get that work done. Like, that's important. Still exploring some other bids for that. I have one from, the heck is the name? Whiskey City Electric. Just like to get another bid on that if I could. And then flow meter issues, I still have the collapsed conduit. Looking for a fix for that so that I don't have to dig up the new blacktop we had installed. to fix a little piece of conduit, and then the other one is the potential water leak at the plant. Um, Still doing some research on that because mysteriously our numbers are back down where they should be last month, so trying to figure that out still. But I will report back if I find anything.
Chris says your new employee started.
The new employee did start. He started on Wednesday. Seems to be doing pretty well so far. Seems to get along pretty well with the guys, so fits in decently. That's all I have for the O&M report. I will field any questions that may be. Sure.
Number 9,
Number 9.
get quotes on a Bobcat side-by-side.
Yes, I was. I have to put together a 1, 3, and 5-year capital plan, and I was looking at the potential of using a machine like that for snow removal versus what we do now, which is nothing, or call the city and hope that they can come in. Well, our tractor doesn't turn anymore. So we gotta.
Does it what?
It doesn't turn anymore, so we gotta figure that out.
It's a straight tractor. It only goes straight.
Yeah. We go straight.
Problem?
Do what?
Front differential problem?
You remember that was put together backwards and then
I
put
remember.
on and ran?
I remember.
I think it's finally caught up with it. But anyway, so we was exploring that as a potential. I can tell you that that's not a potential anymore, at least not a Bobcat, because I could buy a brand new dump truck with a plow kit for the same price. So we ain't doing that.
Well, if you like those Bobcat machines, they're actually made by Club Car,
Oh, yeah?
and I'll send you a contact for Club Car.
I just was looking for something that wasn't going to go out of business the day after we buy it.
Yeah,
Everything else
right.
we buy. So
The city's got a few Kubotas that are
Yeah,
side-by-sides. with
their
the
tanks.
dump. Yeah, they work pretty good too.
yeah, we were going to explore different options. I just thought, Bobcat's been around forever. We'll try that. But I can tell you that the price that came in, there is no way we're going to have that.
Astronomical, right?
Yeah.
It's about $47,000.
Whoa.
Jeez.
So,
Proud of
not
it.
gonna happen. I like my job. I need my paycheck. So we will.
And the other thing I had was that number 18, that scrubber. Is that a warranty issue or not? Is it not a warranty? Isn't that the one that goes in the Free Street building and that's where we're having an issue with the H2S?
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know that it's, like I said in the maintenance issues to discuss, I don't know that it's like broke. It's just saying the clogged filter light will not go off, which means it will not let the machine run. And we've changed out all the filters, we've changed the plates, we've done everything that we could do
From the O&M manual.
from the O&M manual, but I can't figure out why that
Sensor?
light is not going off.
Does it have a sensor that may need cleaned or?
Not that we can find, but that doesn't mean that there ain't something there that we're missing, so I'm trying to get with the company to see if there's a way that they can either help walk us through it, or, maybe come out and take a look at it, so.
But as far as you know, it's not a warranty issue, it's our baby, right?
As far as I know, I believe our warranty is up on that, because that warranty would have started from the day of installation.
Yeah.
Which, again, is just one of those things, where when the little gremlins start to show, it's too late, so. But yeah, we'll figure it out, we'll get it up. It's working now, we're ventilating the room before we go in, I ain't having the same issues I was having at the beginning,
Gotcha.
so.
Thanks.
Should be good. No problem. Any other questions on the O&M report? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the O&M report as presented.
Second.
Got a first, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Next up will be the district's financial report. I will turn that over to Becky.
Okay, I'll be quick. We are about 97,000 behind budget on revenue. We're over budget in flow, under budget in loadings, and under budget in non-contact. So the net is about 97,000. employee expenses are 43,000 below budget. Most of that is due to the HRA issue, or HRA usage. We normally see that pick up a lot in December, so we may eat into some of that. Equipment maintenance expenses are 9,725 below budget. Professional fees are 59,000 below budget, primarily due to the usage of no other services. The SBOA has completed their audit. I don't know if they're gonna get the bill in by December or not, so that's gonna eat up quite a bit of that if they do. If they don't, we're gonna have to push that into 2026. Other fixed costs were below budget, primarily due to the UV maintenance, which we had a big one in November, so you'll see that on here next month.
Yeah, we did purchase all of the
Six-
UV equipment.
60
Hopefully getting paid here.
65,000. 66,000.
Yeah, 66 for all new bulbs and boards and stuff that I talked about last month.
Variable costs were 192,000 below budget, 193,000 if you round up. 58,000 in chemicals, 18,000 maintenance, 65,000 utilities, and 53,000 chemical hauling. Interest expense and capital funding are on budget. So total budget variance year-to-date is 248,000. And other than, we'll talk about the SBOA.
Yeah, that'll be on the agenda.
Okay,
later.
that's all I have.
I have a question,
Okay.
and just so that I don't forget, it'll be documented here. Can we change the title in the next budget that we're gonna work on here in the next few weeks of chemical hauling?
Yes.
That's
That's
literally
Rumpke,
just
right?
Rumpke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's make that sludge hauling or something, that way it's representative, because that's one of the numbers that we expected to go down quite a bit through the project. So I wanna make sure that it's captured so that you guys can see that, and it makes more sense to you guys as we move forward.
Would sludge disposal be a better title for that?
Possibly. Something
Something
that
more-
shows what it is, because, I mean, 53,000 under on sludge disposal is, it's a pretty good little chunk of what it is. I expect it to get better as we move forward too, so that'll be good. Is there any questions for Becky on the financial report? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report as given.
So moved.
Got first, got second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Next up, we're gonna pay some bills, we'll do the regular monthly bills first. Should have log, I'll entertain a motion to pay the monthly expenses as presented.
I'll make a motion.
I got a first, need a second? Second. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries, thank you. Give that just a second to cycle around, we'll move on, because I think we do not have any depreciations, we have project vouchers, so. Depreciation vouchers is not active this month.
No, there'll be more. That sounds like you. Man, if you don't get the sign?
I don't believe so.
Now what the hell, sign them?
It could be a good thing.
I know.
Thank you, sir.
You,
Stuff and stuff you that
you forget who I'm married to, man. I know to read stuff
Oh,
first.
You got a point there, man. Yeah, I just can't figure out which one of you two lost the bet on that one.
When
I
you
think I
retire,
did.
what are you gonna do with all this?
Next time I'll see her, I'll tell her.
I'm sure you will.
We are live on the internet, so. Documented.
It's okay.
If she's watching, you won't even have to say it.
That's a fact.
He said he lost the bet.
She knows I'd say it to her too, in her face.
She's got a good sense of humor, trust
I
me.
don't say X jokes on here.
Yeah, I saw that last meeting. Even our monthly board meetings, I said, prove that. Okay, I saw that last month. Proof of that.
All right, as those wind down here, I'm gonna go on to the next item. Like I said, depreciation vouchers are next. We don't have any of those this month.
You already saw.
So we'll move on to the special vouchers for the Project B. I have two of them this month. I have one for CDL GS Engineering for $1,760.
Right.
And that covers the construction observation. I'm assuming that's
And
the
investigation.
inspector and whatnot that's been watching throughout the clarifier project. And then I have one for Mitchell and Stark for $93,387.85. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to do those as a pair. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the project vouchers as presented there.
So moved.
First, the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Do those. While those go around, I'll just keep rolling through here because we've got some. Next up's going to be the unfinished business. First on that is going to be the wastewater treatment plant, Project B, engineering and construction report, update, whatever you want to call it. I'll give that to Nathan.
So it'll be a quick one. Both west plant clarifiers are now blasted, recoated, and back in service. We found minimal damage to the steel when we were in there, but what we did find, we went ahead and replaced, blasted, recoated it all. So I've got a high level of confidence those clarifiers will last you another 20 years or so. For the remaining portions of the project, the blowers are sort of leading the timeline for getting that construction activities back mobilized to the site. They were ordered back in October. There's a 26-week manufacturer time on that, so probably March, April time frame, the contractor will remobilize back to the site to complete the remaining portions of the work. We've received all the submittals we expected to receive. Ancillary pieces of equipment are ordered. So again, we're just sitting tight until the blowers arrive and the contractor can move in, and he'll swoop in and get everything done pretty quick once those blowers are ready. So that's pretty much it for now.
Is there any questions on the project engineering report? We'll move on to meter replacement. Again, I touched on that in the O&M report. I believe all the meters have arrived at the company installer crib. Just, we ran into the collapsed conduit or plugged up conduit or whatever you want to call it that we're trying to figure out how to fix without tearing up the driveway. So once I get a solution for that, then we'll be back on full steam ahead on these flow meters. Just gotta figure that out first. I do not want to tear up the new driveway. Not right by the front gate. So I have a few ideas of what we're gonna try. See how it goes. Any questions on the meter replacement? Moving on, roof and soffit replacement. We talked about that last month. I'm leaving it on there for now because we do not have the bid packet out yet. So it's gonna stay on the agenda as just unfinished. We plan to have that bid packet out at the beginning of the year. Is that still correct?
Correct. Targeting your February meeting for bids to consider for award.
Okay. So we'll get that out and hopefully we get enough, some good bids back on it and then we can make a decision and move on it.
I saw somewhere you had a leak in the roof. I assume that's part of the roof that's being replaced.
It wasn't in the original thought because it was supposed to be done or fixed, but it's leaking, so yes, it will be added.
This is the final effluent pump station?
Yeah.
That we talked about?
Yeah.
It's in the scope.
Oh, you put it back in?
I put it back in the
Okay,
scope.
yeah, okay. I did not. In the original plan, no, it wasn't, but
Okay.
it is back in now.
When this is done, is all the roofs new? Is everything new?
We will have touched every roof except for that little brown building out there by
The Archaea shack.
yeah, that's the only one we haven't.
Yeah, that's a minor, it's just metal. We built that, well, we didn't, but employees built that. So that's an easy one, but yes, all of the building, all of the structures will have new roofs when this is over.
Good.
Said and done.
Thank you.
I will, we've report back as we get that out and moving. Next up is the MPVES renewal. Again, I talked about that in the O&M report. Out for the 30-day public comment. I didn't see anything in there that was concerning to me. I'll send it off to Nathan, as I said, during the O&M report. Have him look it over, make sure I didn't miss something. I mean, it is 65 pages. But they all look, I read them. I didn't see anything jump out at me other than the flow meter issue at the very beginning on the plant description. So, and then the DMRQA, again, just kind of update you guys during that, so that it's on record. We have passed all of our tests. We are certified to run every test that we run for another year. We will play that song and dance again next year and do it again. But now I know all the rules, so we should be fine on the first time through. IDEM likes to keep moving the goalpost on us, so I got it under control now. So next up's new business. This is going to be the SBOA, State Board of Accounts audit. Becky briefly talked about that during the financial report, but they submitted their final report. I included that in your packets. Looked like there was two of them, assuming one from the company that they hired to do it and one from actual SBOA. I'll give that over to Becky to discuss a little bit if you'd like.
So the 84719A report is a reporting of the financial statements. So they were just saying they reviewed the financial statements, they're good. There were no issues with that. The 84719S is the compliance examination. And we had one finding on there. And it was related to our capital asset, which I think it's the same thing we had last time. We need to come up with a capital asset program. It's not really new news.
What does that mean? We have to come up with a capital asset program.
So every year in the Gateway report, we report assets. So when I took it over, there was this big number that had been being reported. So when we purchase things through the capital account, I have a listing of those, but I don't have the listing of what that,
Prior,
what,
the prior.
the prior, right. So what they want us to do is either do it ourselves or hire a company to evaluate our assets, value them, and maybe adjust that number. And then,
Don't we do that already with your 1, 3, and 5-year capital purchasing? Is that?
I don't think that would work. I
No.
mean, no. We would have to, it needs done anyway now that the
Right.
big project's done, because, I mean, we literally got only equipment that needs to be, we probably could have pushed one of the last Boeing bill through and probably got them to not ding us on that, but really we need to come up with some sort of capital asset management program here. We've talked about this since I became the superintendent, so I know that that's something that we need to do as a board anyway. We just got to figure out what works
So,
the best, and it's going to be able to be kept up with as far as that goes, because, I mean, that can turn into literally a full-time job of trying to keep that list up to date.
so Becky, Greendale has this problem, South Dearborn Regional Sewer District has this problem. We get dinged on it, but does it affect any bond rating? Does it our borrowing power, or do we just have a check mark at the state level?
if it becomes a repeat finding over and over, then we could be subject to a fine,
Okay.
but
But the first step is they make you do a corrective action plan, right?
they have not issued.
Well, what I'm saying, before
Yes.
we even got to the fine part, they would
Yes,
say
they
you have to
would.
do a corrective
Yes.
action plan, and then if you ignore that, I think.
Right,
That's when
Yeah.
the fines come.
which that has not happened yet.
We got
But I think Patrick was on the call with me.
But I mean, Chris is
I
right.
think everything went pretty,
Yeah.
They did also recommend that we do a consent agenda item for the board to disclose any conflict of interest or related party transactions. And Andy, is that once a year?
What's that?
Is that, they recommended we develop a consent agenda item to disclose any board member conflict of interest or,
Oh, yeah, it's something I think all my clients they'll have everybody execute the form at the end of the year.
okay.
And then I think maybe are they uploaded to Gateway or?
They recommended we develop a consent agenda item. And I don't know if that was once a year or once a month. I would guess it's just once a year.
What do they mean by consent?
Isn't that what he called it?
This board doesn't generally do consent agenda items.
That,
Something.
I've seen them do it at the foundation.
Yeah.
They do that once a year, but it said to adopt a consent agenda. Consent agenda, well, he said monthly would be a best practice. Have Chris add to agenda to ask if anyone has any related party transactions or conflict of interest. That was
I mean, I don't,
early notes while he was talking.
I mean, I represent a few governmental entities, and none of them have a standing agenda item
Okay,
for a conflict or relative contract. I've very, very rarely had that come up. I know that just having a conflict doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you have to fill out the form and submit it to the governing body, and the governing body has to accept it, and before you can enter into that contract. And that's very rarely come up, but none of my clients have a standing item on the agenda for that, because it's so rare. And people tend to avoid it, you know?
I really think they were just trying to find something to recommend, to be honest.
Well,
I would
you
second
know,
that.
you gotta justify the fee that they charge people.
Right, right,
Even though they're fully funded by the legislature, they have to justify the fee they charge.
right. So that was not a finding or anything, it was just a best practice.
Not that,
recommendation.
not that it's an issue I've addressed with people, but it's really frustrating.
You saw my signs up there.
So I guess in summary, our state board of accounts audit went pretty well.
Meeting is being.
Exactly how I would have expected it to go. We turned in the last one in 2023, I turned in an asset sheet that was probably 35 pages long, and they didn't like it, so we did attempt it, they just didn't like it. This time we didn't turn one in, and they marked us for it, so.
And we did decide, since we're in the middle of this project, once everything's done, we should have a good asset list from the project. Maybe we could start with that.
Which is what you turned in, wasn't it?
Not in 2023, I turned in one that was done by EnviroLink, and it was like literally 100 pages long, and they probably didn't even look at it. It was huge.
We need to revisit that.
It does need, it's something the district needs to do. It's something we'll have to, I highly recommend that we make a move on it when everything's settled. When the dust settles, I think it's something we need to do. That's my opinion, that's my recommendation, so we can address it as we move forward, but just kind of wanted everybody to know where we were at with the SBOA audit. Is there any questions on the audit itself or the findings that were given back to us? Okay, hearing none, I don't need anything for that from you. Oh, new business. The next item that I have is that time of year where I ask the board about the employee Christmas party that we always do at the plant. I think last year we did an up to amount, and I was decently below what was approved. This year I would expect the same, so I would be asking the board, and I guess I can't really make the motion, superintendent, but, I mean, I'd be asking the board for a up to dollar figure to host the annual Christmas party that we have for the employees, which consists of a nice meal grill out. And then we've offered, in the past, we've given gift cards to each employee in the amount of $100 prepaid Visa or MasterCard is what we've done in the past. So
Chris, what was the up to amount last year?
I think last year I did up to 2,000 to cover the cards and all of that. And we got
Same amount of employees?
Yeah, so I would be requesting something very close to that. I mean, groceries and stuff did go up a little bit, but I still think, judging by last year, I was far enough under, I should be fine this year.
So moved.
Second.
How much was that, sorry?
2,000.
2,000.
Okay.
When is that party anyway?
That party will be December 22nd. I will send out an email. That'll be the Monday before Christmas. I'll send out an email to all board members. Again, you guys are all invited. I would just appreciate maybe letting me know if you're coming or not so that I can make sure that I have enough food. We eat very well. I will say that. We eat some
pretty
very
good.
nice cuts of meat,
Chicken was good.
potatoes. I mean, it's a man meal. So, but yeah, I'll
Well,
send
But
out that
Sarah,
invite.
you're still invited.
I will send out that invite, and like I said, you all are more than welcome to show up, meet the guys, hang out, talk for a while, whatever you want to do. And I appreciate the allowing me to do so for you guys. So that's all I got on the agenda. Next up is the public's request up.
I have something under, I guess it would be under new business.
Yes, sir.
We've got this Indiana code, what is it, 5-14-9. I guess you have to show who the board members are and their proxies.
On the agenda.
Now, you sent this in the packet with the agenda.
Yeah, it's on,
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the agenda.
Should be
Right.
attached to the file.
What I'm asking is, I was put in as the lead now on city council. Joan stepped down to my proxy.
Okay.
Do we need to fill something out for you guys?
I would say-
Usually at the beginning of each year, I'll send out a
Okay.
member form.
Okay, I knew we used to do that in the past, but
Yeah.
this is all new to me and all this, so.
Yeah, I usually send it out in January after you guys decide that you're gonna keep me around, and then, just keep us updated if it changes.
And then naturally Rob will be the main person and Garrett will be his proxy when this is all said and done, correct?
Yes.
and the same with Nathaniel. He's gonna be Sean's proxy.
Okay, so we're updated first year is what we're saying here.
Yep.
It's all good, okay.
I
I don't look good in orange, so I just will make sure it's right. And I know how particular Chris is on things like this,
I try to keep up with it.
so he knows he's getting it to the right people.
I try. Because I don't want to go to jail. Anyway. Sorry. I'm making notes. I will adjust that, knowing that that's been done now. It was when we first talked about it, it wasn't official because it wasn't announced at your
Right.
meeting.
And we did pass it at our December 1st meeting.
Yes. I will make that adjustment moving forward, and then as Andy stated, we will send out new board appointee sheets at the beginning of the year to each city, and they will put them in, and then that'll get adjusted. But that requirement, Indiana Code 5-14-9, is newer to us, and that will be attached to the agenda moving forward until they change that code or decide they want to do something else to make your agenda that much more a pain. So,
Difficult.
And just so you guys know, I'm glad to be back.
well,
We're glad you're back.
Glad to have you.
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
Tell the truth.
I told you that the other day.
I got,
I had a little freedom there.
do we, is there any other questions?
yeah, I got something. It's about those, those trees over there that Vince wanted over.
Yeah, easy. Easy.
I thought that was Guinevere.
Keep going. We ever figure anything out with those? They're all about dead.
They are all about dead, just like the last ones that were planted in there when the plant was built. They all died too. I don't know. I mean, I've reached out to Teppy or Teepee or whatever their name is. She started to email me back and forth, and then she asked me if they were watered, and I said, well, of course they're watered. It rained all spring. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean are they watered? Like, they should have rooted by then. They were planted in October of last year, but that was the last communication. Once I told her they were watered, and they just never stayed in the ground because they weren't
But they were warranted, right?
Yeah.
They were warranted for, I believe, I'd have to go back and pull that item. It was at least a year, I thought.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they've been dead longer. Hell, they weren't even in the ground for a month there. They just kept blowing over.
Then it just kept falling over. I don't even know if they stuck them in the ground.
They're not deep, I can tell you that. They're only like, really deep.
But your email chain started before the October deadline,
Yes, my email chain.
so
is-
they're recovered.
There's
Maybe
been
legal
multiple
needs to send a
emails
letter.
about them blowing over and not being strapped down. Like, I mean, there's been some communications which went back and forth. It was the
I
last
said
question I had.
maybe
Follow up
legal
on it.
needs to send them a letter.
When you get Andy, send something over to her.
I mean, we can try. I don't,
Things weren't cheap.
it's new to me, so.
Yeah, our agreement with them says if they die within a year that they'll, guaranteed replacement of them.
What did we pay for them, like 14,000 or something? What was that?
Oh,
No.
hey, no way.
We paid a decent chunk of money for them, but,
Yeah.
you know, I think the 14 was the other company. I think this one was closest, because I dropped them.
Landscape business.
We did the, arborvitae, not the blue spruce. So it was the cheaper one. It was like 7 feet, something like that, like half.
Looks like
I was
65.
not gonna spend that much money. I didn't want the trees.
$6,658.53.
There you go. I didn't want the trees to begin with, so I wasn't spending $14,000 on them, I'll tell you that. Anyway, yeah, I can try again to see if they don't reach back or give me any information, and maybe we can go that route. That's up to you guys,
Put Andy on them if not, yeah.
so.
Sooner the better.
Yeah.
I will, reach out again today, and if I don't get anything back, if that's the way the board would like to move forward, that would be your all's decision on that, as far as that
It's
goes.
probably only gonna cost us a couple $100 to go send a letter.
Not that wordy.
Get that letter pre-drafted. So, what do I need there? Do I need a motion on that, Andy?
I mean,
Do we need to make a motion?
yeah,
for you
motion
send
to
it?
have me send a letter, that's fine.
I'll make that motion.
We have a
Pat?
motion for Andy to send a letter about the dead
Those
trees
lovely
he's trying to
trees.
plant. Got a second on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I just remembered last month, I forgot to get a couple signatures on the contract that was approved for the, union employees. So if you were at this meeting last month, could you please stop and sign this before you leave out today, please? I have a few of them, I just need a few more.
Who do you need, to be specific?
I need Ryan Good, I need Sean Guidance, I need Patrick Schwing, and I would need Austin, who is not present today. So, with the ones I do have, and Brian was here last month. So, that's the ones I need. With the ones I have, I can do without Austin's. They don't have the majority to make it an official document. So,
Pass it down.
Brian, correct?
while that's being signed, I will move on to, or, I'm sorry, is there anything else before I move on to the next? Hearing nothing. All right, next agenda item is public's request to speak.
Public?
You have anything?
So moved.
Next one is adjournment. We got a motion for adjournment.
Second.
For adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
Not yet.
Quick.
Just one, Brian.
Me in here.
Okay, we're off.
Solid waste.